Hi, it's Jane. Thanks for joining me to talk about sales and sales leadership. Presentations are the topic today. Several years ago, I had an engagement with a client where I was coaching all of the speakers that they had at their national sales meeting. And they had a new sales leader come in, and I was maybe in my third year of coaching this organization and working with their presenters and preparing them for their conference. This new sales leader came in, and super charismatic guy, super smart guy, just thought the world of him, but he fell into a salesman's trap. And that is, he thought he could wing it. He thought he could just fly by the seat of his pants and wing his presentation, and he would be so engaging that everybody would be mesmerized. What happened was, he watched everybody else go before him, all of these sellers that were reporting to him, go before him and be completely prepped for their presentations, so that we were just kind of picking on, nuances, language, positioning, stories, those kinds of things. And when he got up on the stage, he looked really unprofessional, right? Now, what was great about this guy is that he came in the next day and apologized to his team, and he said, "I will never be that unprepared ever again." But to give him a little bit of slack, that's a common thing that we do as salespeople. Now, you may or may not know that my background, my degrees are in theater, in acting, right? So I have a definite opinion on what a great presentation looks like. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I have a background in improv and in theater, and I never, ever do a presentation or a keynote without rehearsing. And the reason for that is I think it's just rude to treat your audience that way. I mean, you've got people's attention, you've got their time, and especially if it's a prospect, especially if it's a presentation where you're presenting to a prospect, you want to be prepared in every way. So I wanted to tell you today some of the keys that I give to presenters about what to practice. Of course, I think once or twice you should be able to run through your whole presentation. But beforehand, the night before, the morning of, right before your presentation, there are some key things that you can work on that will really make a difference in how well your presentation goes. The first one is your opening. What is the first thing that you're going to say? This is where you grab people's attention or not, right? Whether or not you have a great opening. So the first thing is practice your opening. The second thing is practice your stories. Now, if you don't pepper your presentations with stories, then we need to talk, or you need to do a little bit more research on LinkedIn, or on the internet, because stories are a really powerful way to connect people's emotions with their brain, right? And we know that although customers say that they buy logically, they don't buy logically, they buy emotionally. And it's those stories that you tell about successes or failures or whatever that you pepper into your presentation that really connect that customer to you, that prospect to you or your outcomes in an emotional way, right? Where you can really make that connection with them. So your opening, your stories, your transitions. Think about as you go from one point to the next or one slide to the next. There's always that kind of funky, odd downtime. Great presenters practice their transitions. What is it that you're going to say between the transitions in your presentation? And then finally, your close. This is what people remember about you when you leave the room. Too many times I see presentations go wrong because we finish up what we're going to say, and then we have this little anemic, sad close at the end that's not memorable. Our presentation, it could have been great all the way along, and then it just kind of fizzles out at the end. And we leave the customer with this kind of no button, no pop to the end of the presentation. So, of course, I want you to do a lot of homework on the front end And I do want you to have run through your presentation a couple of times the whole way through, right? But before you go into your presentation, hit these 4 very specific things and you'll be super well prepared. Your introduction, your stories, your transitions, and your close. The key to being a great presenter is to differentiate yourself from all of your competitors. And let me promise you that most of the people you're competing against are not doing the hard work that it takes to be a great presenter. So do these 4 things in your presentation rehearsal and you'll knock it out of the park. I hope this was helpful.